Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudiyayat. Nastabhishya Bhatteshu Nityam Bhaktasivya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhakti Naistiki. Today we will discuss the verses 1738 and following from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This the title of the 7th chapter is The Son of Drona Punished. And we have heard since the beginning of the chapter how Krishna appeared in the Bhagavatam. That Krishna appears the first time in the Bhagavatam, and what is he doing? He's the charioteer of Arjuna. And they are following the son of Dronacharya, Ashvatham, who had heinously killed the 5 sons of Draupadi. So we have heard so far that Arjuna and Krishna were following Ashvatham. Krishna was driving the chariot. He was driving the chariot, and they could see far away the chariot of Ashvatham. But Ashvatham, knowing that he was followed, he tried to get everything out of his horses, but at a certain moment they collapsed, and he was fleeing, trying to walk further away, but he understood my situation is hopeless. And he spoke the hymn for the creation of a Brahmastra, which is a kind of nuclear weapon. We can compare it to nuclear weapon, but it's more subtle. And this Brahmastra appeared as a glowing effulgence like a sun, and it became very hot. And then we heard how that Arjuna was taking shelter of Krishna. Arjuna said to Krishna, I don't know what it is, that the heat becomes unbearable. And so please, you protect your devotee, protect me. And Krishna said, oh, but this is a Brahmastra thrown by Ashvatham out of fear. But he knows only how to create it, but not how to attract it. So Arjuna asked Krishna what to do. And Krishna said to Arjuna, you know all the martial arts of all the ways of mystic, mystic martial arts. You know also how to create a Brahmastra, so you create a Brahmastra and then let it combine with the Brahmastra of Ashvatham, and then you attract your Brahmastra, and both will be attracted. So that is what Arjuna did. He touched water and then purified his mouth Archaman, and then he spoke this hymn for creating a Brahmastra, and because his Brahmastra was created, and it combined with the Brahmastra created by Ashvatam. And then Arjuna spoke the hymn or the mantra to retract it. And then they came to Ashvatam and bound him up. And that's where we are in the story now. That, then the question was what to do with Ashvatam. Should we kill him? Should we let him live? So this text 38. Patisrutam sabhavata Panshalai vato mama aharishye shirastasya yaste manini putra. Furthermore, I've personally heard you promise Draupadi that you bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. So Arjuna had promised Draupadi, I will bring you the head of Ashvatam. Now next verse. Tattasavatyatam papam atayatyatma bandham bhaktusa vipriyam vira hitavan kulapum sanam. So Krishna said, this man is an assassin and murderer of your own family members. Not only that, but he has also disfied his master. He is but a burnt remnants of his family. Kill him immediately. So this is what Krishna says. Now we'll see. This purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The son of Dronacharya is condemned here as the burnt remnants of his family. The good name of Dronacharya was very much respected. Although he joined the enemy camp, the Pandavas held him always in respect, and Arjuna saluted him before beginning the fight. There was nothing wrong in that way, but the son of Dronacharya degraded himself by committing acts which are never done by the Dvijas or the twice-born higher castes. Ashvatam, the son of Dronacharya, committed murder by killing the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi, by which he dissatisfied his master Duryodhana, who never approved of the heinous act of killing the 5 sleeping sons of the Pandavas. This means that Ashvatam became an assaulter of Arjuna's own family members, and thus he was liable to be punished by him. In the Shastras, he who attacks without notice or kills from behind or sets fire to another's house or kidnaps one's wife is condemned to death. Krishna reminded Arjuna of these facts so that he might take notice of them and do the needful. Om Jnanatimandasya Jnanjana Shnake Saksharan Militam Yena Tasmai Shigove Namah Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svamrupakadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shiyuda Padakamalam Shiyom Vaishnavamsha Shiyopam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shivishakam Vitam Shahe Krishna Garuna Sinudina Vanda Chatpate Gopesha Kopka Kanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwara Vishabhan Siddhadevi Panamama Hari Priya Pancha Kalpta Vishak Kripasan Revisha Padnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasad Yoga Bhaktavina Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Bhaskacharya Dasatami Srila Prabhupada came. So this is a very wonderful part of the Bhagavatam in which we hear how Krishna reciprocates with his devotees. Practically, he reciprocates to glorify them. We will see here is bringing Arjuna in a very difficult situation. For ordinary man, that would be a simple issue. So if one has killed your son, yeah, and one is, immediately there's kind of revenge in the heart. And just, yes, kill him. But Arjuna was not, he was not under the influence of such attachment and aversions. Although his sons were killed, that still he had deeper considerations. He didn't stop seeing the bigger picture. That so Krishna tells him, yes, you promised Draupadi to bring the head of the murder of your children. And besides that, scriptures say he has to be killed because he's a transgressor. 6 kinds of transgressors in the Vedas, which are mentioned, and one, they should be killed. That, but the Arjuna thinks deeper. He thinks about the consequences of every action he's going to do very deeply. That goes in the purport. Srila Prabhupada mentions, yes, Ashvatam wanted to please Duryodhana, and he was thinking by murdering the last descendants of the Kaur dynasty, Duryodhana would be pleased. But Duryodhana was not pleased at all. And that he didn't want to finish the Kaur dynasty. That, no. That although Ashvatam was the son of Dronacharya, he was a very respectable Brahmin. That, but of course, Ashvatam has lost his respectabilities by acting contrary to the position of a Brahmin. A Brahmin knows how to act in every situation. That, but we see that Ashvatam, he acted in a wrong way. That such acts should never be done by Brahmins. That But yes, still Ashvatam was the son of Dronacharya, and Arjuna knew, he knows, yeah, my teacher was Dronacharya. Dronacharya was the guru of Arjuna. It was his guru in martial arts that he learned every fighting skill, every possible fighting skill from Dronacharya, and Dronacharya saw Arjuna as his best student and was very affectionate towards him. So it's thinking more deeply, Arjuna, that he knew I've adapted to my teacher, the Dronacharya, that and therefore I should not kill Ashvatam. That although Shastra said, yes, he's transgressor, like someone when it's war, yes, you kill the enemy, you get praised, but in time of peace, when you kill someone, it's murder, and this was murder. That yes, and it was because also Duryodhana was not pleased because Ashwadam did it in a heinous way. It means he did it against the principles or the code of the Kshatriyas. A Kshatriya never attacks anyone who cannot defend himself, and they were sleeping. That but still, Krishna says, yeah, you promised this to Draupadi, and is a transgressor of the codes of religion. It's liable to be punished. It's in the scriptures. Still, Arjuna is hesitating. That not only that, we will see further that when he brings Ashvatam before Draupadi, Draupadi will immediately say, release him, he's a Brahmin. Interesting. He just killed her 5 sons and he says, release him, he's a Brahmin. But Arjuna and Draupadi, they have deeper reasons. And later Yudhishthira will come and say, yes, I agree with them. These are religious principles. That the deeper reason Draupadi will give is, and that's the quality of a devotee. The devotee is called Baraduka Dukhi. He feels unhappy when he sees others in distress or unhappy. That is the quality of a pure devotee. He feels unhappy when others are unhappy or in distress. So Arjuna and Draupadi, they both were also not only thinking at the depth Arjuna to Dronacharya, because Dronacharya, he left this world already. And Dronacharya's wife, Kripi, she did not do the sati rite. She did not enter the funeral pyre, burning funeral pyre with her husband because she had still a son, Ashvatam, to take care of. That So therefore she remained alive. So Draupadi said, if we kill Ashvatthama, then Kripi will suffer. She will suffer the loss of her son, like I am now suffering. I am now suffering the loss of my sons. I don't want her, Draupadi was thinking, I don't want her to suffer like I'm suffering. So these are deeper considerations in just not the moment and not only the act. They see a broader picture. What are the consequences of my acts? We will read a few more verses here. Text 40. Sutta vacha evam pariksata dharman bhakta krishnena choditaha. Naichat dantam gau sutam yatyap yatma anam maham. Sutta Goswami said also, although Krishna, who was examining Arjunian religion, encouraged Arjuna to kill the son of Dronacharya, Arjuna, a great soul, did not like the idea of killing him, although Ashvatthama was a heinous murderer of Arjuna's family members. Report. Arjuna was a great soul, undoubtedly, which is proved here also. He is encouraged him personally by the Lord to kill the son of Drona. But Arjuna considers that the son of his teacher should be spared, for he happens to be the son of Dronacharya, even though he is an unworthy son, having done all sorts of heinous acts whimsically for no one's benefit. So Lord Sri Krishna encouraged Arjuna outwardly just to test Arjuna's sense of duty. It is not that Arjuna was incomplete in the sense of his duty, nor was Lord Krishna unaware of Arjuna's sense of duty. But Lord Sri Krishna puts to test many of his pure devotees to magnify the sense of duty. The gopis were put to such test as well. Prahlad Maharaj also was put to such a test. All pure devotees come out successfully in their respective tests by the Lord. So this testing of Arjuna was factually to glorify him. Because gradually we will see Arjuna is put into a situation. He has his arguments not to kill Ashvatthama. And then we will have Draupadi will also have her arguments not to kill him. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj agrees with them. But Bhima will say, no, kill him immediately. He has killed his 5 sons. He should be killed. So there's a conflict here. And Krishna wants to see how Arjuna is going to deal with it. And Arjuna will deal with it very intelligently. We will see that Krishna puts his devotees to test just to glorify them, to show their determination, their wisdom, to glorify them. Because a devotee is expert even in mundane affairs. He's not careless with things. He meditates deep on the consequences. And that's all based on the principle of yukta vairagya, that principle of yukta vairagya that is explained in Bhakta Rasamrita Sindhu. The principle explains that explaining the meaning of real renunciation. Real renunciation, Rupa Goswami says, is anasaktasya visayam yataram upayum yataha nirbandha krishna sambandhe yukta varahyam uchate. That so a devotee first is not attached to anything in this world, but at the same time he accepts everything in this world in relation to Krishna. That he knows he has no sense of possessiveness, no I in mine, no mine. He knows something may be under my care, but it's not mine, it's belonging to Krishna. But he always seeks how things can be best used in Krishna's service or in the service of the devotees. That so, but he knows everything belongs to Krishna and is under Krishna's control. And that so here, Krishna is testing Arjuna. Is he going to act just out of revenge in the mode of passion? In the mode of passion and ignorance? I'm going to kill them. I'm going to kill him. They killed my son, so that's an eye for an eye. Yes. No, Arjuna is not like that. He knows my sons were Krishna's sons, and Krishna has taken them away. He must have some reason for it. So that attachment is different. Attachment to things in this world because they belong to Krishna and can be used in Krishna's service. Therefore, he thought very deeply that, of course, Krishna always reciprocates with his devotees in wonderful ways. We'll see also in the 9th chapter of this first canto, it's the passing away of Bhishmadev. Bhishmadev is lying on a bed of arrows on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Bhishmadev desired to leave this body, to leave this world, while Krishna was before him, and Krishna reciprocated with that. And also glorified him. Because Bhishmadev was lying on that bed of arrow, but practically all his blood was out of his veins. Ordinarily, that's a very painful condition. But he instructed Bhishmadev, you instruct Yudhishthira Maharaj. He was lying there, and for many days he has instructed Yudhishthira Maharaj in how to rule the kingdom before he left this world. So Krishna showed the greatness of Bhishmadev. Material conditions would not hamper him. Not. Of course, we know also Krishna, when Yudhishthira Maharaj, after the battle of Kurukshetra, asked Krishna, when Krishna wanted to go to Hastinapur, that then Yudhishthira asked him to stay a few more months. And just out of love for his devotees, Krishna stayed 4 more months. So these devotees are living in a relationship with Krishna. So it said here, also the gopis were put to test, but the test only increased their love for Krishna. That, yes, also Prahlad Maharaj. And his father tried to burn him, to kill him in so many ways. Quite a severe test. But all of them came out successfully. Can read next slide. Next verse. Atopetya svabhiram govinda priya sarati ya vidayatam priyayai sushantya atma janhatan. After reaching his own camp, Arjuna, along with his dear friend and charioteer Sri Krishna, entrusted the murder to his dear wife, who was lamenting for her murdered sons. Purport: the transcendental relation of Arjuna with Krishna is of the dearmost friendship. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself has claimed Arjuna as his dearmost friend. Every living being is thus related with the Supreme Lord by some sort of affectionate relationship, either as servant or as friend or as parent or as an object of conjugal love. Everyone thus can enjoy the company of the Lord in the spiritual realm if he at all desires and sincerely tries for it by the process of Bhakti Yoga. So all these devotees, they were living in a relationship with Krishna. That in a relationship of love. And like Rupa Goswami describes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, five main transcendental relationships in which the devotee is engaged in a relationship of love with Krishna in intense love. That intense love is nurtured by their sthayi-bhav, by their main relationship with Krishna. And this sthayi-bhav, main relationship between Arjuna and Krishna was a relationship of friendship. That so yes. Next slide. Next verse 42. Now we will hear the reaction of Draupadi. Tataritam pasuvatpa sabandhum padam. Tataritam pasuvatpa sabadam. Avan mukam karmachurupsitena. Nirikshya Krishna prakritam kusatam. Vama svabhava kripaya namamacham. Shri Sutta Goswami said Draupadi then saw Ashvatam, who was bound with ropes like an animal and silent for having enacted the most inglorious murder. Due to her female nature, and due to her being naturally good and well-behaved, she showed him due respects as a Brahmin. Now we'll hear the purport of Prabhupada. Ashvatam was condemned by the Lord himself. He was treated by Arjuna just like a culprit, nor like the son of a Brahmin, not like the son of a Brahmin teacher. But when he was brought before Srimati Draupadi, she, although behaved for the murder of her sons, and although the murder was present before her, could not withdraw the due respect generally offered to a Brahmin or the son of a Brahmin. This is due to her mild nature as a woman. Women as a class are no better than boys, and therefore they have no discriminatory power like that of a man. Ashvatam proved himself to be an unworthy son of Dronacharya or of a Brahmin. For this reason, he was condemned by the greatest authority, Lord Sri Krishna, and yet a mild woman could not withdraw her natural courtesy for a Brahmin. Even to date, in a Hindu family, a woman shows proper respect to the Brahmin caste. However fallen and heinous a Brahmin Bandhu may be, but the men have begun to protest against Brahma Bandhus, who are born in families of good Brahmins, but by action are less than Sudras. The specific word used in this sloka is Svabhava, mild and gentle by nature. A good man or woman accepts anything very easily, but a man of average intelligence does not do so. But anyway, we should not give up our reason and discriminatory power just to be gentle. One must have good discriminatory power to judge a thing on its merit. We should not follow the mild nature of a woman and thereby accept that which is not genuine. Asvatam may be respected by a good-natured woman, but that does not mean that he is good as a genuine Brahmin. So this is Prabhupada's purport that so the Ashvatam should not have received the respect of a Brahmin, because he lost his position as a Brahmin by acting in this heinous way. That so Arjuna brought him before the Draupadi, and Draupadi, she showed him respect as a Brahmin. But yes, Prabhupada says what Prabhupada says about women here. There are many quotes like that. But I know in the world today, especially in the Western world, they see man and woman on equal platform. But we have a different body, a different gross body. Why does the gross body develop? Why do we get a body of a man or a woman? Because the subtle body is different. The subtle body is the breeding ground or is the growth of the gross body. When the body in the womb of the gross body is constructed in the womb of the mother, but the subtle body is already there. It's brought there by the supersome to the semen of a man and so on. But it's there. It's just constructed around the subtle body. That means the subtle body of a man and the subtle body of a woman is different. And what is the subtle body? The subtle body means intelligence and mind. Mind means thinking, feeling, willing, and emotions. Now we see from the stories in the Bhagavatam, from like Aditi and Kashyapa Muni, that yeah, Diti at a certain moment, she allures or forces her husband to have union at the wrong moment, although her husband warned her, don't do it. But it still happened. And this shows the difference in the subtle body. I don't think Prabhupada is mentioning here that women on the material platform are less intelligent. We see many times they may be on the material platform for getting and making arrangements of sense gratification. They may be much more better than men. That see also the universities, most women score higher than men, or that I've seen statistics like that. But that's not what is mentioned here. That it's different. It's about spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence means understanding the difference between spirit and matter, and be able to discriminate. That now the subtle body of a man and woman are different. In the subtle body of a woman, the intelligence and the mind, the feelings, and the discriminating and the power of discrimination are intertwined and difficult to separate. And therefore, Draupadi, she has this feeling, yes, of giving respect to a Brahmin. She cannot separate it. But a man is more easy to differentiate, to separate the feelings from the intelligence. That not that they are all able to do it. That's another thing, because in Kali Yuga, at the end there is not much difference. But therefore, that's nature's arrangement. That women must bear children and must be attached to the children, otherwise it doesn't work. So nature has given that attachment, that deep attachment to children and to, and it's difficult to give it up. And these are some thoughts that I got from the Bhagavatam and studying this matter quite deeply. That because we will see further, Prabhupada further will glorify Draupadi. He will say she has all good qualities. That she thinks deeper. She thinks about the suffering of Kripi. And she's happy to suffer herself, but she cannot see the suffering of others. Still, she has the high qualities of a pure devotee. That's very interesting. That I will read one verse more. Uvacha sa sahantyasya bandana nayanam sati muchatam mesa pramana nitaram go. She could not tolerate Ashwatthama's being bound by ropes. As being a devoted lady, she said, release him, for he is a Brahmin, our spiritual master. So as soon as Ashwatthama was brought before Draupadi, she thought it intolerable that the Brahmin should be arrested like a culprit and brought before her in that condition, especially when the Brahmin happened to be a teacher's son. Arjuna arrested Ashwatthama, knowing perfectly well that he was the son of Dronacharya. Krishna also knew him to be so, but both of them condemned the murderer without consideration of his being the son of a Brahmin. According to revealed scripture, a teacher or spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he proves himself unworthy of the position of a guru or a spiritual master. A guru is called an acharya, or a person who was personally personally assimilated all the essence of all Shastras and has helped his disciples to adopt the ways. Ashvatthama failed to discharge the duties of a Brahmin or teacher, and therefore he was liable to be rejected from the exalted position of a Brahmin. On this consideration, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna were right in condemning Ashvatthama, but to a good lady like Draupadi, the matter was considered not from the angle of Shastric vision, but as a matter of custom. By custom, Ashvatthama was offered the same respect as offered to his father. It was so because generally the people accept the son of a Brahmin as a real Brahmin by sentiment only. Factually, the matter is different. A Brahmin is accepted on merit of qualification and not on the merit of simply being the son of a Brahmin. But in spite of all of this, Draupadi desired Ashvatthama to be at once released, as it was all the same and good sentiment for him. This means that the devotee of the Lord cannot tolerate all sorts of tribulation, personally, but still such devotees are never unkind to others, even to the enemies. These are the characteristics of one is a pure devotee of the Lord. So here it says Draupadi was a pure devotee because she didn't care for her own suffering and she did not want others to suffer. Of course, still Ashvatthama had to be punished. We will see further. So this is a deep point of morality. Morality is seen from different angles, and we will see how it plays further. Next week we will end this chapter and see how Arjuna deals with the test. Any comments, questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Very good.
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for nice lecture. Maharaj, as you mentioned that multiple places Srila Prabhupada has mentioned about women not being intelligent or similar to those sentences. So Maharaj, if in a class or in a discussion such sentences come, then how we can give a right understanding to newcomers who are coming, and because such things can put them off.
Yes. So why not? One may propose, why not putting all these controversial questions out of the Bhagavatam? Just get them out. But that would not be very good, because this is the truth. But this truth is only understood after deeper contemplation and knowledge. And therefore, it's very difficult to explain to neophytes. Very difficult. Because it takes time to understand this. It takes time to understand that we are not a gross body, that we are not a subtle body, and how we are different. But most important here is that we must realize that we are not a man or a woman. We are not this subtle body. That if we identify with this subtle body of this gross body, then spiritual life becomes very difficult. How do we identify with the subtle and gross body, and how do we identify with the soul? These are two different matters. That we identify with the body by raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion. What's good for the mind, what's good for the body, what's bad for the body, that we don't want. and our lives becomes centered about these things, I and mine. And this going into these discussions of equality of women or not is on a body platform. And you can go on lives discussing that and remain rotting in this material world. But we have to get out and understand that we are not a man, we are not a woman. Mataji came to Prabhupada, a disciple, and said, I'm a woman, it's very difficult for me to make spiritual progress. And Prabhupada replied, yes, if you think you are a woman, it's very difficult. So it's a test also for neophytes to have faith in these statements and later understand the deeper grounds for it. But the deeper grounds you cannot explain in 2 minutes. Prabhupada said, what will you 2 minutes preaching do? Nothing. Nothing. We could give them Prabhupada's books and ask to read every page, and then they will understand that. So this is all a point of false ego. But generally, when we speak to new people, we don't speak about these verses in the beginning. That's not a good thing to do. Because they are not on the level to understand that. You must be qualified to understand the Bhagavatam, to understand these teachings. If you realize gradually that you are not a body, then whether you are a man or woman, after liberation, it doesn't matter. We have to purify our heart, and when the heart is purified, we transcend this. Otherwise, good luck with this discussion. But generally, we don't speak about that in the beginning to newcomers. Let them read Prabhupada's books and let them understand they are not a body. Even that takes years to understand that you are the conscience in this body. How this all works. Anyway, that's my comment for Nachanapan.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you for the explanation.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Now, no further questions. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, Indresh Prabhu.
Krishna Maharaj, please accept my obeisances.
My basis.
Very nice. Thank you for very nice class. I have a question. This and Ashwatthama killed this Pandava's son, and Duryodhana was upset why you killed the Kuru dynasty.
Yeah.
They are sleeping. It is not proper way. You can kill this Kshatriya according to Kshatriya rules. But Duryodhana was trying to put them in fire in Panchavandava, and they were in their Lakshagriha. They were sleeping. They put fire also. Same thing they was did.
Yeah.
Now he got aware from where he got the knowledge. This now it is not good. Before he did also.
Yeah, that's difficult to say. That of course Duryodhana had not the best role he had to play. But we see that many times that the goats of the Kshatriyas are there. Many times they were transgressed. But Prabhupada says about Duryodhana, it was not Duryodhana's intention to finish the Kuru dynasty. That was not his, and he was displeased with Ashwatthama that he did that in that way. But Duryodhana did also worse things he tried to he tried to kill the Pandavas by putting them in House of Black and burn them. That's in the same category. So this was, yes, they did it before. That therefore, Deland, he was not of good character. That, but he had to play that role by Krishna's mercy. That we see that in the, many times in the Mahabharata. So you are right that Duryodhana was not of the best character. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Good. Hare Krishna, we continue next week and we will finalize the pastime and then hear from Queen Kunti. So,
Yes, Maharaj. So Maharaj, it will be a regular Wednesday class next week, Maharaj?
what Wednesday I can just
Or whatever is your comfortable time, Maharaj. You can let me know.
a moment. I just check.
Okay, Maharaj.